Okay, welcome back to the composition lecture. This is the layers section. So there is a reading that talks about some of this, so make sure you do check out the reading. It's pretty practical and will help you with your assignment this week. Okay, so the first kind of layer that we're looking at is the foreground. So imagine if you're thinking about your scene, you want to divide the space into what's happening in the front of it, the middle of it, and the back of it, right? And that's how one way you can kind of think of structuring how things should look, or what things you can use to guide the player experience. So the foreground can be used to frame the player's experience, and this can be quite dramatic. So this is one of the it's the opening part of The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, where you walk through a tunnel and it's pitch black and you hear this voiceover narration. When you get to the end, you get this very dramatic sort of portal opening up that you then cross through into the game proper, right? And where you can walk around. So you are actually locked into this tunnel, and then when they're ready to have you start the game, you see this portal. So this gives this kind of dramatic effect, right? You're from a dark enclosed space, suddenly the world opens up to you, right? So that is impact drama, very effective for making people know that, okay, we're not in Kansas anymore, and this is the story, and it adds some tension. So really good to use. Now you can use it in less sort of in your face ways, just within the landscape, right? So having sections of wall or shrubbery that the player can't see around until they turn a corner. And then what they see can be framed by, say, trees, an opening through the trees, or rocks, something like that. So those are all tricks that you can use to make the environment seem more interesting. So use that foreground to help frame a scene as players walk into it. Now our middle ground is our center of interest, right? So in this shot from BioShock Infinite, we're looking at, and this is basically a cutscene, and we're looking at these two characters who are rowing, and you can't really see it, but there's a lighthouse in front of them. But to the left is a pier, right, with a ladder going up. So just from this shot, right, there's nothing in our foreground blocking or framing our view, but in the middle ground we have the center of interest. This is where your sort of main thing that the player is going to interact with, or the important thing. It's where you want to take them, or you want to focus them. But we've also got some interesting things going on here. So we have our characters who are talking. We have this very strong vertical line here, and then we have this horizontal line of the dock, right? So basically it's leading our eye back, right? And this is perspective, but the dock is helping. They're using that dock to help guide us, because we're ultimately going to go back here. So, but you also know right away, here's this vertical, here's my ladder, and then this is leading my eye that way. So you can pretty much infer that that's where you're going to go. So here you are setting the player up for understanding how to go through this environment. So now when you're on the dock, you get this enormous lighthouse, and you eventually have to go into the lighthouse, right? But the important thing here, and a lot of you guys are using this in some of your, if you picked ancient Egypt, one of the things is to make things overpowering. It's this lighthouse that dwarfs you, right? So you get this feeling of ominousness, or being, there's a kind of a tension, because we are at this low angle looking up at it, and it's big compared to us. So it makes the player maybe feel a sense of dread, right? So again, or they can feel powerless. Another thing that you can